there is a little bit of you that's dying every day that you're not finding your true self. And I don't want there to come a point where you try and look for your true self and you realize that there's nothing left of it. Hi, YouTube. I feel like in today's world, we are given so many trends and aesthetics to follow, and they shift so fast because everyone's online 24/7. And if you're trying to constantly stay up to date with those trends and be in trend, it's exhausting. So I offer you a solution, and that's to exist outside of aesthetics. And I want to talk about how to do that and why it matters as someone who has been trying for a little while now to create my own personal style and really curate wardrobe and interests and style and passions outside of what is being given to me. So, first thing I want to talk about is why this matters so much. And no, it's not just like, oh, now you have main character energy because you're different. It gives you a sense of stability because you're not constantly shifting from one trend to another. And with that stability comes a sense of financial benefits because you're not buying cheap clothes for every season. You're building a wardrobe that is thrifted, or you buy very high quality items, and it's something that could last you a lifetime or like 20 years because it's not changing with every season. I know that there's so many things that we could think of now. Like now, if you wear skinny jeans, oh my god, like that's horrendous. But 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that was the only thing you wore. If you wore baggy jeans, that would be gross, and everyone went along with that. So what we see in an example like that is that it isn't really that every single person's personal style happened to shift at the same time. It's just that what is socially acceptable has changed. And we see that too with like tattoos, how like very hyper realistic tattoos used to be super in trend, and now people don't really do that anymore. And there's things that even you personally, I'm sure, used to find really ugly or something that you liked a lot, and now it's the exact opposite thing. And we can see how that changes with what's socially acceptable. And what we find is that so little of ourselves is actually ourselves. So much of what we're doing, whether it be through how we dress and, jewelry, makeup, how we change our physical appearance, but also our interests and what really makes us tick, is so dependent on outside stimuli, and it really makes us wonder, what is actually me? So having this sense of stability also allows for a lot of financial benefit, but it also creates a sense of confidence and a sense of independence because you're not pulling from trends all the time, and you're not becoming mentally exhausted and a shell of a person because you know who you are. And that is something that no one else is, and that's beautiful. The other thing is you don't have to fit yourself into boxes all the time, especially nowadays. This is more for like women, but like this idea of like aesthetics, where I see people online, and I can't really wrap my mind around this, but people are like, oh, it's so tiring trying to fit all of your interests and your clothes into just one aesthetic. Why are you doing that? You could just do what you want and do what you love, but everyone's so obsessed with things matching and looking aesthetically pleasing, and it is coming at the cost of our souls. And it is so upsetting. I just want your soul to be nourished. I want you to have a sense of stability and a sense of identity that exists outside of what is socially acceptable, what is normal, what is trendy. Because if you're going by what other people say and what's given to you, you're exhausted and you don't know who you really are. So now I'm going to get into what you could actually do to curate a sense of self and a personal identity outside of what's being given to you. The first thing is to really understand how swayed you are by trends. Like right now, polka dots are a trend. Early 2000s stuff has really been a thing for a while. But I remember like 10 years ago, like during the 2010s, everyone was like, the early 2000s stuff is atrocious, let's never go back to it. And now we're here, and we're wearing the Juicy Couture tracksuits. We have the stripy highlights. We're doing the makeup like that. And it's so confusing because everyone just decided at some point, like, let's just switch up on what we thought was gross, and now it's trendy again. And I honestly love early 2000s style. But my point is just that you have to understand that your opinion, and I'm talking specifically about clothes here, but this applies to so many other things. Your opinion is so swayed by what other people find socially acceptable, it's actually insane. And so just having that realization is step one. Step two is detox. If you don't know what is trending and what people expect from you, then it really takes a weight off your shoulders. And to do that, and this is what I did a while ago, I deleted TikTok, I deleted Instagram. And now I only have Pinterest and YouTube, and it allows me to only have content that is filtered by what I like specifically and stuff that is similar to what I like. And I am not being fed content that I can't control the specificities of. Having TikTok and having Instagram, apart from the fact that it is like actually corrosive and degenerative, it's so bad for your brain. It also strips you of your identity and your personal style. Um, and I think just having like YouTube, like it's allowed me to research so many of the topics that I really love. And that brings me to my next thing. Apart from detox, which is the most important thing you could do for your personal style, for your identity, but also just in general for your mental health, please, please delete Instagram and TikTok, or at least have some kind of time lock on it. You need to start using this new time that you have because you detoxed to explore your identity, and the best way to do that is to research and to write. I found out that I'm very obsessed with 1890s to 1920s, like Art Nouveau paintings and style. I really love Alphonse Mucha. And the architecture of that time, all this very whimsical stuff is so wonderful to me. And I've had this obsession for years. I've collected like books of his art, and I've really curated my personal style and the way that I dress around this very Art Nouveau kind of thing. That's just like one example. The other thing is that I'm obsessed with religion. If you guys watch my channel, you guys know that all I talk about is religion, both from an academic standpoint, but also as someone who's practicing. And I am able to really explore that niche, especially like soteriology, like the study of liberation and enlightenment, and then also hagiography, which is the study of the lives of saints and their biography, and also hermeneutics. I'm such a geek for this stuff, and I wouldn't have time to explore it and really hone in on that niche if I was still just consuming content mindlessly on Instagram and TikTok. I'm able to watch longer form content, documentaries, and lectures from professors I really like on this stuff, and it is so rewarding because I'm creating a sense of self, and I'm finding passions that I wouldn't have had the time to do or the knack to do if I was still so obsessed with just trends. And that's the other thing that I want to talk about, is you have to realize that there's no downside other than you being a little bit uncomfortable for caring about yourself and existing outside of trends. I used to dress very interestingly. I'm a little more calm now with the way that I dress compared to how I used to. And it really was like the biggest test for social anxiety. And now I don't really have social anxiety when it comes to how I look and how I think that I'm going to be judged by other people. And it's so wonderful because I can just do what I want. And it's really freeing. And I think once you realize that obviously you only live once, I don't want to get too philosophical here, but you only live one time, okay? And, or maybe you believe in reincarnation, so I'm speaking too soon, but you will come to a point, and part of this is like once my frontal lobe started developing, I realized this as well. Other people's opinions don't matter at all. They really don't. You're not going to hear 90% of them, and the 10% that you do, so what? If someone doesn't like your style or is judging you and is vocalizing their dislike for your style, that is a weird person, okay? I saw this quote somewhere, like, if you wouldn't take someone's advice, why are you taking their criticism? Period. Okay, I love that. So yeah, for me, being on YouTube and Pinterest and only that, so that I could really like focus on the curating of my own personality and personal style has been so nourishing. And then I guess this is more specifically for like clothing. and a style more physically. But don't buy from like malls or online. Try and just thrift. Do that for like a year. When you go to like a mall or when you online shop, you're only being exposed to what's currently in trend. And it's constantly changing. And I found that when I distance myself from uh, buying new things and I only thrift, I'm in a thrift store, you're being shown like every possible aesthetic, every style, and you're able to choose from everything. And you end up being drawn to what you actually like as opposed to what is being forced into your conscious through like the styling that you see in malls and stuff like that. And so I started buying pieces that really resonated with me and stuff that I really enjoyed wearing and thought that made me look very beautiful as opposed to what is being shoved in my face. And it has been wonderful. And you'll find that the clothes that you thrift are oftentimes higher quality than what you're buying that's not secondhand, which sounds a little paradoxical, but usually the older clothes are, the more high quality they are. They're usually made from more natural fabrics. They're usually, they're just made to last, okay? They are not from Shein. They're not from Zara. They will not decay on your body and then fill your skin with microplastics. You're getting high quality fabric at a cheaper cost, and you get to carry these pieces with you for life, and it's wonderful. I want you to become a nerd, okay? For me, I love Art Nouveau stuff, and I love really statement pieces when it comes to jewelry. I'll show you guys. I actually just thrifted this watch, and it is so cool. I don't know if you could see it. I got it for $10 at a thrift store, and it was wonderful. I'm also going to show you, my fiance just bought this insane tapestry that's framed for, sorry, we didn't put it up yet, but it was $200, but it was so worth it because this is huge. It's like twice the size of a TV. And look at this. Like, this is the coolest, oh my god, you can see me, and they're fucking, it's just the coolest thing ever. And you know, I have my little rats over here. Oh my gosh, what if we said hi? Hi, baby. This one's Estelle. Hi, kitty cat. Anyway, so, and this is stuff that, like, you know, investing in artwork like that and having rats, even though a lot of people are grossed out by them, I am trying to build, this is like not, okay, straight. I'm trying to build a sense of self, and that it's been wonderful to explore. Aw, my baby just yawned. It was really cute. Big stretch. Trying to find myself, especially, I don't know, I've talked a little bit on here about this stuff, but like, I used to be very mentally unwell, and as I've gotten happier, I've become a little bit more like eccentric, I guess, and I found myself, because I was so radically changed over a year or two, that I kind of like had to relearn myself, I guess. And it's been a wonderful experience because now I'm very into early New Thought movement texts, especially like Christian oriented ones. Right now the camera's being propped up on a Neville Goddard deluxe edition anthology. All 14 of his books are in this book. And I really love Florence Scovel Shinn and Manly P. Hall. Those are some authors that I really enjoy. And I'm reading Umberto Eco's Name of the Rose. That's the other thing too. I forgot to mention this. You guys have to start reading. You can't be filling up all your free time with social media. That is so horrible for you, okay? Because you're just being shoved other people's lives. We've existed for literally like tens of thousands of years to only know a certain amount about other people in their lives. I'm sure you've seen this rant so many times before from other people talking about how fed up they are with this stuff. But we're not meant, like, down to a neurological level to be like seeing this much about people. And so what I'm really getting at is that you need to detox, and that will be the best thing for you, okay? With like just finding yourself and your personality. There is a little bit of you that's dying every day that you're not finding your true self. And I don't want there to come a point where you try and look for your true self and you realize that there's nothing left of it, okay? I want you to nourish yourself, and I want you to have fun with life. And like for me, I love life and I have so much fun living, and it's because I'm surrounding myself with all of these like little antique finds, and when I'm bored I pick up books that I curated like for my own collection that I get to read, and I get to put on my makeup in a way that makes me happy and wear jewelry that I love that I thrift, and I get to play with my little rats. Even though a lot of people think that they're gross, I love them, okay? And they're so adorable. And you know, I'm engaged. I'm 21 and I'm engaged. It's a little. I know people get a little like weirded out by that, but I'm living the way that I want to live, okay? And I'm moving to Germany soon to get a master's degree in religious studies. Like I'm doing things that I love because the world is an open world game, okay? And there's more to life than just doing what you think you should be doing. And I guess I'll just leave it at that. I went on definitely a little bit more of a rant, and this video is not as organized as I wanted it to be. But if you know me, you know this is you're used to this. I just want to say that I love you so much, and there is a version of yourself that you haven't met yet that I want you to, and I want you to embrace them and say I love you, and I will nourish you. Okay, I want you to water them and help them grow in whatever like little, I don't know, this is getting stupid, but like in whatever ways that you can. And again, the biggest thing to start that journey is to get off social media. I love keeping YouTube and Pinterest because it's exactly what I need. It's inspiration and it's education. Instagram and TikTok is slop. You know that. I know that. I don't know why you're still engaging with it if you are. Um, and I love you. Okay. I guess I'll leave it at that. There's a lot more I could say, but it's not really. I've exhausted my points, so I'll leave it at that. I salute the divinity in you, no matter what, and I think that you're awesome. And thank you for clicking on this video. If you watched the whole video, that's very impressive. Thank you for that. I'd recommend subscribing because I'm trying to post every day. I want to make stuff that you can relate to. So definitely like let me know in the comments what else you want me to talk about. If there's anything that you think I missed in this video, sound off, I guess. And yeah, have a nice day. Thank you.